How are you, honey? Hi, Sherry. It's good to see you. I hope I'm not hollering at you because it seems like I was. It's because it seemed like I was. Hold this a little bit straighter here. I want to cut some blocks out of this, or some flowers out of this. And it's been cut on, so it's not going to be the straightest in the world. But I'm going to make sunflower petals out of this. So hopefully I won't buffer too bad. And I'm going to show you step by step how I did this, how I do this. So this is going to be kind of a quilting day. That's good. My screen's not pulled out quite big enough to get all the chat. Let me see if I can't get a little bit more going here. There it is. I've missed you too. I've missed going on and doing things with you girls and, you know, being creative. But I have been at a complete standstill, other than I've done some iCads, and I've done a little video on these. I've done some simple little iCads, you know, that are, they're just, you know, they're just simple. It's not really, to me, this is really not crafting. And I have missed really into a project and sinking my teeth into a project. So, well, Patricia, this is a really fun thing to learn. This is making 3D flowers, but you can cut like a 16-inch block. It doesn't matter what size your block is, as long as your flower will lay on it. So you cut just a big block, do a straight seam, and then you sew your flower. You tape for the stems, and I use different fabrics for the centers. And you can buy a few yards of fabric and make these, and then get you a sheet to put them on, or to, you know, put on the back of it. And I intend to show how to quilt all the way through. I'm going to do the cutting of the blocks, the putting the flowers on it, how to set the quilt together, how to baste it, to back it, baste, you know, make the sandwich. I intend to do the whole process. I have wanted to do this for quite a while. Quilting is what I did, and it's what I love, and it's still what I love. And I do love the paper crafting, but my thing is quilting is one of the only things I've ever stayed with, because I tend to do things for a while and then I get out on them. I've never gotten burnt out on quilting because there's so many things that you can do with fabric. I mean, you can make so many different designs. You can make a purse, you can make a wall hanging, you can make a placemat, you can make a cup holder, there's so many things that you can do with it, that it really is artistic thing to do. And I want to share that with you all. So I'm hoping we have some more come in. So I'm kind of visiting with you for a while. I did post it on Facebook, so maybe they'll come in. I didn't put what time, but I just said going live. I'm going live on YouTube and do some quilting. That ought to be enough. But man, you'll have to forgive my cough because I went out and I mowed the grass. And I mean, since then, I have been coughing and not being able to sleep. And, you know, just it's just been crazy. So, yeah. So if I fumble around a little bit, you know, understand that this is, I'm working in the heat and I'm working in with the handicap because I've got a runny nose and coughing. And my camera is upside down, and I apologize for that, but I cannot help it. If I want to turn it up for you to see me, which I don't want now, I really don't care. I really don't care. You've seen me look bad before, and I probably look really bad and hot right now. Let me see if I can get it to stay up. Come on, get up there. There we go. There I am. Hi, honey. How are you? And I'm just telling the girls that I look awful because it's hot up here. I am glad you caught me too, dadgummit. I'm going to quilt. Do you want to quilt with me? I have to, you know, I have to keep looking up for you to see my face. But I want over there because that's where you're talking. So, so if I turn my head, it's because I'm talking to you. You're bored out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I understand. Well, I've got my stuff laid out here, and I'm going to show you how I make a big sunflower. And I cut out petals here a while ago, and they're not great big. They're not as big as I want them, but I'm going to make several sizes on this. I know this heat is atrocious, though. And I just freehanded these petals, as you can see. I just freehanded them. I didn't, you know, try to make them perfect. Well, you know, you can't see that because the camera's at me. This is what they look like on the paper. Just a free-handed flower form. I've got a few cut out that are lighter in color that I had from another project. I'm going to add these right to this as a top layer. This will go with this really pretty. Let me get this up where you can see it because I'm going to have to turn the camera back down. This is my fabric, and this is the one I already had cut. So as you can see, those are going to be pretty together. I also have some vintage looking material, and some of these flowers are going to be bright and colorful, and some of them are going to be vintage looking. And I don't know which I'll like the best, but here's my vintage palette, and I'll show you the fabric. I'm going to turn this down again, girls. Here's my vintage pile, and this is a piece that I made pillows out of, and I don't have a lot of it, but I only need a top layer of that. But then I've got this, which I will probably use for the centers of the sunflowers, or maybe this one because this has got a neat pattern to it. So, you know, that's kind of my vintage palette. Although it's not vintage fabric, it is, and that's Velcro. But I need the Velcro. Hi, honey, how are you? So you all feel up to a quilt? I've got my sewing machine in the floor, and like I said, I took out some craft paper. I usually use freezer paper because I can iron it right to the fabric, and that gives me my pieces, and they'll hold together. No, honey, I'm doing a video, Tom. Thank you, though. Tom heard me talking. He thought I wanted some. All is well here, other than I'm a little bit warm still. I need to one thing, turn the flow of that air on me, and that would help. So anyway, I'm going to cut out the rest of these petals, and I'm too shy of having my flower the size I want it, because my graph paper was not long enough, and I couldn't find my freezer paper, which really makes me mad. But you can do this without it. Freezer paper is really easy because once you make one of these, you can iron it. You can draw these on freezer paper, cut them out, and then just lay them on your fabric, iron them down, and they will stick to your fabric until you're ready to put them on your quilt back. It is the way I would recommend to do them. I'm going to make 2-layer ones. You don't have to. You can do these in a single layer in raw edge applique, which I will show you too, or you can do them in a double layer turned applique, a 3D one, which is what I'm going to start out showing you that one, and then I will do the freehand applique as we go along, because I have a lot of little flowers that I want to put in the background, and I will do them in a flat freehand raw edged applique. So, but my bigger flowers are going to be 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to follow my line right around here that I cut, and I'm not going to worry about whether it's perfectly cut or, you know, the perfect size. We're going to lay that right in there. And like I said, I'll be shy. Couple that will make them out of the rest of this paper. So all I'm doing is cutting, just following my own line. And they're not perfect. They're not perfect leaves. Petals are not perfect. They are not. This is not going to cut like this. I'm just laying it out here for you like this. Petals are not perfect. Some overlap. Some turn one way. Some turn another way. You know, I could turn this over here and put that here, and it would work just fine. Might be good over there. We'll just try it for a little bit and see how it looks. And then cut the next one out. And like I said, I don't try to stay right on my lines. I'm just rough cutting. Just because you're going to just cut them right out of this fabric when you get them done. And you can lay them however they look good to you. You can overlap them. You can leave them single, but you're going to cut them out singly anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm just showing you what they're going to look like. When I get them cut, because this is going to be our pattern. All of these pieces. You can lay them down like this though, and that one's a little long. I don't really like that, but we could change it up to up here, bring this one down here. See, you can do a lot of different things. When you get them to this point, you can actually, these can be all spread out. They don't have to be, you know, right together. Because we're going to cut a circle to put in the center. So they don't have to be perfect. Okay, we've got one more here to cut. And as you can see, I had one here that was not, I couldn't cut out of that. So what I'm going to do is just take this and cut it up. And down. And put another petal in there. Okay. Just made a flower. This is not really slow. A slow process, believe it or not. It's because it's pretty fast. But the instant gratification comes when you put these down on freezer paper. You iron them onto this fabric. Then when you have them cut, you're ready to lay them down on your block and take them to the sewing machine. I'm going to get a piece of this brown down here. Let's see. I've got some batiks that I'm going to use in this too for my leaves, which are pretty. I think I'll make that my center. It has a green cast in this camera, but that is brown. So I'm going to open that up. It's a batik. Oh, wow. That's a full yard. Honey, your blocks don't have to match up. You can have wonky blocks on this. You can make, if you make your blocks, say you make, I'm going to make these like 14-inch blocks. I don't know why that went to that, because I didn't hit it. I'm going to make these like 14 inches around is what I have in mind. Is what I have in mind. So I'm going to make a 16-inch block for them to lay on. That was weird. I didn't do that. I don't know why it did. I've decided I'm not going to use that piece. That's my good stuff, and I'm going to use scraps on this, girls. I'm not going to use my good fabric. If I can find the right color, I'm going to use this one. It's a little bit off, but it's not bad. We're going to cut a circle out for this. And, you know, a sunflower needs to be big. So I'm going to cut a circle. Move these over here. Okay. And to do a circle, let's see. I can use that jar right there. That's a little smaller than I want it. Little smaller than I want it, but it is. Oh, let me see. This would be better. Okay. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw right around that. Now, I would normally draw a pattern for this. And then I would have it for all the rest of them. And I probably should. Because then you can cut out, you can fold this 4 times. And I'm going to do that. Let me just fold it over on itself. And then fold it over on itself again. And kind of line up the edges. Come on, straighten out. You want kind of, straightened out under there. But you don't even have to really pin it or do anything. Just ease that fabric out like that. And I brought my good sewing scissors in here, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look right down here in this box. I do have good scissors. Okay. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put a pin right in the center of that. My pins are over here. Right there. And right there. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut out that circle on all 4 layers of that. So I'm going to have 4 made. Cut up there. And cut up. Just cut a square out. Then I can round it out. And then across. Okay, now we're going to just cut this out. Because these don't have to be perfect. You're going to zigzag around them. It's going to cover a lot of flaws. And if somebody's been cutting paper with my scissors, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. These are the ones that are hands-off mamas. Oh, fat quarters and all of those things are great. But here's my feeling. Girls, you can get a lot more bang for your buck if you go by yardage. Fat quarters. They're 18 by 22. And they charge you something like $2, $3 for that 18 by 22 piece of material. There are shops still around that you can buy material for $4.99 a yard. That's 36 by 45 wide. You can cut for $4.99 a yard. You can cut how many of those out of there? You can cut 5 or 6, 7 fat quarters out of there. Yeah, they're all the same material, but you can get, the jelly rolls. They're 2.5-inch strips, and they're cut from straight line fabric, just like this. They charge you. You can buy 7 or 8 pieces of material, cut your fat or your 2.5-inch strips, and make just as pretty a quilt. So that's my feeling. Okay, now I'm going to pin these on, and we're going to start cutting out. And I'm not going to lay these in here as close together as I can get them across this fabric. That's my salvage edge. I want them. And I'm cutting 4 layers, so I'm just going to lay them in here so I don't have a lot of waste. I'm going to have a little bit. Okay. Whoops, that needs to go down. You have them running off of your material. Slide these over just a little bit. Let's try this. Now, I'm going to pin my paper right to my material. I've got a little bit of an overlap there I've got to watch. So this needs to come down so I get all 4 petals. And I usually just pin them in one place. This is going to have to move. Okay. Bring it down to this corner. And that one up there. We'll just change them around till they will work. And I'm kind of about this, is like I am about paper. If I've got a little bitty scrap like this, it's gone bye-bye. Oh, really, Linda? Oh, man. I have got a cabinet full in there. That's the reason why I'm using some of these fabrics up. I have got 3 or 4 quilt tops made ready to quilt. But I didn't think that y'all would want to see me just jump in and quilt without seeing me create first. That's, that's the thing. Because I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start, yeah, you can make your own jelly rolls. You can make your own layer cakes. You can make your own charm packs. I take my scraps and do that. Cut them up into 5-inch squares, 3-inch squares, 2-inch squares. Okay, now we've got this pin through here. I'm going to start cutting some flower petals. And again, I'm not going to be perfect. They're going to have a little jagged edge here and there because I'm haven't done this in a while. And I could do this with my rotary cutter, but I don't like to when I'm cutting flowers. Okay, I'm going to come up right around here. And that one's up just a little bit too much in the way there, so that may have to go. You want to cut through your pieces. Okay, come on. Cut through. Girls, I'm getting this done. I'll tell you what, I need to. Okay, I'm moving this one around just a bit because I got it out of whack there. Okay, let's cut this one off real quick. And since that's got such a long tail, I'm going to come across it like that. See my tail down here? I'm just going to come right up on that fold. And cut that right around there. Okay. Now there is a whole mess more of them. And the thing of it is when you get this done, like 4 layers of this, you're going to have 4 flowers made or cut out. So it doesn't take long to cut out a garden of flowers. I wish I was close to her too. She could show me how to do some of that steampunk stuff she's been doing. That is so creative. And I don't know why you're not online teaching us that. Get that off. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can rotor cutter these. I'm going to go get a rotor cutter so I don't trip over the bag. Okay, I went into the hot sewing room and I think that it's in here in this drawer because I think this is right here. Well, it's not there. So, okay, we'll try this. See if this one will work. Yep, that's what I was afraid of. You can take this. Just watch your fingers. This is why I don't like to cut freeform shapes with them. And that blade is dull. But anyway, if you watch your fingers and put some guards on, you can do that. I've seen people do it, but it's not. It's not my cup of tea to do. So now I'm going to go back around this and get that edge cleaned up there. But you've got to be pretty proficient with a cutter to do those kind of shapes. Okay. Come down that way. Now I'm not worrying about squaring off these tops because we're going to have to sew that point on and turn them out anyway. We can put another one right here. If I lay it that way. No, maybe not. Okay. I will say that big piece right there. Because that'll make a flower. And some of these we'll probably use for some shadowing too later on. And some of them. Lay that up here in the box. I have a box of pieces. I have a box of pieces that I have already cut out. Circles, petals. Here's some blue stripe petals. I made a flower out of these that was absolutely gorgeous with striped petals. Some circle ones that I stuffed. You can make pin cushions out of them. Here's the petals down in here in brighter yellow. Those might go as a top layer to this because, you know, sunflowers have more than one layer. Here's one I had started. Didn't like it. Put it down. So anytime I have any extras, I don't throw them away because these will all make a quilt. Just a random quilt. So here we go. And I hope y'all enjoy this with me because I really, really want to go back to doing this. And I know I'm not a very good tutor for many things because I do things very haphazard. I don't believe we have to be perfect to have a perfect quilt. Don't expect to be perfect. You know, if you don't expect to be perfect, then you'll be happy with your results. If you expect it to be show worthy quilt, girls, it just takes years to get to that point. It just takes years to get to that point. It's not something that you do. Quilting for 7 or 8 years now, and I am not to that point. In fact, a lot of mine are still just beginner quilts. That's what I like to do. I don't want to have to fuss over them. I don't want to have to. I want to make a quilt. I don't want to make a. And I want it to be a pretty thing, and I want it to be a work of art. But I don't want it to be something that I have to stress and fuss and fume over. So that's what I'm trying to do to put in my tutorials, is that they don't have to be perfect. If one of these leaves is not perfect under here, say I missed the material a little bit, so you've got a flat-sided flower petal, you put it underneath another one. They just do not have to be perfect. Your drawing doesn't have to be pretty perfect. Your cutting doesn't have to be perfect. There's that one. All right, let's cut this one off. Right between these two. We'll get that one. Just like paper, though, it gives you lots of strings and lots of pieces that you have to deal with. You know, it gives you lots of things you have to deal with. You know, this piece is going to come off of here. And you say, what am I going to do with that? 9 times out of 10, I go to the trash can with them. They've got to be pretty darn big, or I ain't going to keep them. I've seen people make crumb quilts in little bitty tiny pieces. Not this old gal. Not this gal. She's going to make them big. I'm going to make big quilts. I like to make big things, big, you know, big patterns. It's easier. Let's see. Let's get that one there. It's going to flatten one edge, but we're not going to worry about it. We'll just curve it in a little bit. I'm going to pin that one right there again. I lost my pin. I took it out. It's under this stuff somewhere. Then we'll pick up those scraps. Maybe I can see what I'm doing. Get another pin. Pin that one there. We just went down here, and that's our last one. Pin it in. Okay. Here, we'll get this flower. I said actually we had enough to make 4 flowers. We've got enough to make 2 3D ones. Because it takes 2 pieces, your front and your back. Trying to stay in camera. You can even make these if you're not comfortable with a sewing machine. You can make these by hand. And still, it doesn't take a lot. You do a straight stitch around the side, a straight stitch from here. You come up from the bottom, straight stitch around here, come down here, leave an opening to turn it over. And yeah, I am too. This has got to be fun for me, or it's not going to get done. That's one of the reasons why one of my quilts is in there done. Not quilted. It was not fun for me to make. It was a group challenge. I hated the thing from the very beginning. I didn't like it. It's not my colors. And I've never gone back to it. It was not fun for me. I had to work at that one, and I didn't want to work at them. Now, I could have made that quilt a dozen times if it had been the right fabric. But, you just... And people get mad at me because I put applique flowers on a lot of things. I love to make a large 4-patch quilt, applique some flowers and lay them on the top of it, sew them down, and you've got a flower garden quilt with very little effort. So we just made all of our flower petals for 2 of them. Now what I'm going to do is fix my sewing machine up. Get this out of the way. And get my sewing machine up here. Then go find the controls for it. And this may be a problem. Let's see if I can get this down here. And then up where you can see into the sewing machine. That's as far back as it'll go. And I'll put it about right there. My purple thread in there. And you know what? These are all going to be turned under. That, and I'm just going to use up that bobbin. So I think I just put it in backwards. I blocked my light. Hi, Allison. How are you, darling? Okay. Where are you? There we go. I'm going to put that purple right back in there. Put the yellow on the top. Let's see if I can find the... Oh, it's got one of those little bitty eyes. This girls. Oh, Lordy. I did just let it twist on me, though. No, okay, come on. Get out from underneath there. There we go. Now I'm going to hold on to that to get down in. See if I can pull up the bobbin. There we go. No, maybe we didn't. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a pair of nippers. Okay. Yeah, yes, you did. It is a zillion degrees here, and I'm still in my pajamas. I am still in my pajamas. I don't have an automatic one on this. This is my go-to machine, though. I absolutely love this little old brother machine. It's $79 at Walmart, and it will do anything you want it to do if I have a pedal on it. If I have a pedal on it and, you know, the stuff to make it go, and it plugged in. And that's another trip back to the sewing room. I thought I was ready for this. I'm never ready for this. It actually was not getting too bad. Not yet. She's supposed to call me today. Okay. Now the trouble with this is my plug-in is way back there. Excuse me, girls. I know I'm a wheezing. I am so excited. I can't hardly believe that I'm 66 years old, or will be my birthday. I'm 65 years old and have 7 great grands. Okay. We are plugged in. I don't have a light on it. Okay, and this fabric does have a right and a wrong side. See this difference? So we're going to put wrong sides together. And I'm going to start at this bottom. And I do a scant 1/4 inch. Really, Deborah? I'll be 66. I do a scant 1/4 inch seam on these. So, okay. I don't have any power. I don't have any power. Uh-oh. Well, because I turned it off. You have to have it on. So I'm just going to make a circle around this of just a straight seam. Come down to the bottom. Put your needle in. And come back out. We're going to go down to the bottom. To about right there. And we'll do a little back stitch. Take this out. And nip that off. Nip that off. Okay, now this is where it's going to get a little difficult for me because I'm going to have to show you that I'm going to trim right here. I'm going to trim that across so that there's no material on my point. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to set it to the side so I can do this. And we'll move it back and forth. Okay. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to stick my thumb down in there and just start gathering it together as far as I can get it. Then I'm going to take a stick or any kind of a stick that you have, stick it in the top of it, hold it, push it through, and pull it down, and then run it around the edge of your flower. Pop your point out as much as possible. Run it down the edge of your flower. And there's our first 3D petal made. You can put some batting in these. I kind of like to have batting in them, but I don't always. But anyway, when you lay it down on your quilt, you're going to catch it right here where this is open. This is going to, you're just going to turn that under like that and catch it with your thread with your next petal. So that's the start of our flowers. What did I do with the other one? It was on there. Should have had two of those like that. I'm probably setting my machine over them. I am. Okay. Here they are. So we're going to go ahead and do this pair. And I'm putting them together. Right sides together. Okay. Now I'll turn this around. Whoops. Yeah, I always put the tip to that tip. Start down here at this end. And I just come unthreaded. I forget that this doesn't have the needle down position. I'm so used to for an email from me. Hi, Spanky. Or from Spanky. She's been having some problems tallying up her sale. I should have a couple of them coming to me. Okay, there we go. Got it. Finally. Okay. And I don't pin them. I just try to watch my edges, come to the tip, pull the needle down, twist it around, and then start down your other side. And then make a little back stitch, and we're ready to turn that one. So you stick your finger in there again, and I'm going to get out my sharper chopstick, and that's what I use. I bring chopsticks home from the restaurant when we get a chance to go. And I'm going to cut my tip. Both of them. I'm going to put my chopstick right in there. Come on. Get your thumb back up in there, Mary. And then I'm going to start pushing that back down. Work my point out. Pull it down. Then just run your chopstick right down along your seam, and that will flatten your seam on the inside. Go back and do the other side, and it will pull out that fabric that's left in there. And there's our second block. And see, I don't think I got all of this out. I'm going to go back and try that again and see if I can pull some more of that out. No, it's okay. Okay, now we're going to put these two together. And we're going to start, where's my circles? We're going to start putting these my circles. Okay, do this. Here we are. Now this I'm going to put a little batting in, because I want this to be puffy so that when I quilt it, it will, I have some batting here. I'm just going to cut off a little piece of it. And I'm going to lay my right side down on that, and my right together. I'm going to leave my right sides together. Lay them down on this. I'm going to trim around this. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can see me cutting around that or not. I just got a piece of batting. Okay. Nope, that's not going to be right. I've got to turn that over. Okay, it's going to be right sides together on that piece of batting. I'm going to trim that up just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to lay it down here. And I'm going to sew a seam around it. Just guide it around. And when you get about right there, you stop, because that's about where we've got a little bit of space here. We can go a little bit farther. Okay, right in there. Back stitch a couple, then forward. Then we're going to turn these out together. We're going to go right in between the fabric. There. Stick your finger in. I'll trim off a little bit of this around the edges so it's not, don't have so much bulk. I thought I was getting a smaller seam than that, but apparently I didn't. Okay, So just cut off some of the bulk. Stick your finger in there and start pushing it out. And just keep working it. I'm going to lay that down in there, and that down in there. And this is going to be, I'm going to put a little stitch right at the very edge of that. Close that edge up. And see how that's not straight? I'll just take my scissors and nip that stuff off. I'll just nip it off because it's going to be covered up. So then you take this. We're going to build this from the back side. I am going to run a seam right here on this one because I think it's going to show. I don't like to sew them though because it makes your petal go flat. But you can iron these, you can put batting in them, whatever you want to do. So anyway, you start right in and you want to just kind of bring that to the wherever you want it on the back, wherever you think it looks right. You can make a little fold in it here, make that petal do what you want it to do. If you want it to be cupped a little or whatever, it just, you know, I like to kind of put mine together like that, run a stitch over them at the bottom. And that broke my thread. It broke my thread. But anyway, put a little stitch on them like that so you've got a little bit of an edge. Should have been that way anyway because that was black on that side. Now I'm going to have to re-thread my machine again. So my live stream is not going just as smooth as I would love for it to. But it's a going. And I'll show you how to sew down a couple of these, and then we'll probably take it up. Maybe tomorrow. I sure don't have anything to do. It's too hot, and I don't want to get out in it. Okay, I want this to curve just a little bit. So now give me that machine back, and let me put that on there. Just sew across it. And then I cut off some of the bulk. And then I take that petal and I put it so that that shows. Can you see that? Where that little bit of a dip shows? And that's where I start putting my flower together. Nip off your ends so they're not all in the way. Just because I've left some strings hanging everywhere. Okay. So where I'm going to put that is right there. And I'm going to pin that on because I don't start sewing until I get several around it. I sew the edges. I'm going to bring that one in and sew across it, and I just kind of fold it up a little bit. I just kind of pinch it together and then come across it. Go back. That'll lock it. You don't have to do that. Come on. Come up out of there. Come on. There we go. My machine probably needs to be cleaned because I haven't used it in a while. It's been a long time since I've used it, actually. I love to go through the sunflower fields and see them. They are just awesome. Okay, I've got that, you know, the side of that one stitched, and I don't like it, so I'm going to bring this one up a little and over a little and put it right over. Take that out. Put this one over the edge of that so that it doesn't really show. Spread it out just a little. And then I'm going to sew the two of them, or pin the two of them down. And that's the start of it. So tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and make these tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll put the rest of them on, and I will show you how to sew them down. So I will be on again tomorrow. And we'll just do another live stream, and we'll just go from there. I'm gonna cut them down to about an hour because that's about all this heat that I can take. Even with my air conditioner, it's hot up here. So anyway, that's what we've done today. Is we've started our flowers, and we just keep going in that same manner until we have all of these petals circled around, as many as it'll hold. It may not hold them all because my piece is not as big as I wanted it to be. But this is what it'll look like when we get it. Let's see, this one goes in a curve kind of underneath that. So let's put that over there. This is a pretty straight one. So we're going to put this right here. And I'm going to kind of build this up just a little bit. This one will go right in here. Mom, go in there. Go under there. Oh, it's catching my flowers. Okay, go under there. And this one in here. And that is probably enough petals. Because then we're going to take some of these and we're going to put them in between them. These are a little wide. So that gives some dark in the back and gives us some sunlight on the front. Now these have not been sewn, so you know they're wider than my other ones. And these are petals that I already had made. So I'm just kind of floating them in here right now. So you just want to float them in on the top. And then if you want to, you can come in with another layer of petals in this tone. And you can put you another layer around it in whatever color you want. And you can make it as 3D as you want. So I don't think you've seen any of that. I will turn it down. Sorry. Hi, Tammy. And we can probably get another one in here. This is what we're going for. We don't need these. I don't think we need those on there. And these will be smaller. So you have to think of them as being someone like that. And then under it. So, and maybe even very, a lot smaller than that. Let me get this up and over it so you can actually see what I'm doing. My camera is broke, and I thought I had it fixed, but it's not wanting to hold its shape. Okay. Now, little pebble shapes. So, and I may not even put those on there. I may just go along with a few strips of them and just put some light, some sunlight on here. You can do it however you want to do it. We can, we can make just a piece of that look like sunlight is falling on that petal, you know, just do it like that. That sunlight is on that petal, and give it some shadow or some light and dark. I don't like that petal. It's too narrow. I don't like that one. See, I don't always make them like I want them. And if I don't like them, then I can just go in and cut another one and fill it back in. I can take one of these, say, okay, well, I like the size of that one, and use it. And so anyway, that's our sunflower. This is really, really, so we're going to take some of that out of it because that's too long for the rest of it. This one goes over this way, and I do need that extra petal here. So there's our sunflower, and when you come back, here's one. Come in here. Go in there. If you come back tomorrow, I will have these pieces all made and show you how to sew them down. And then we'll put it on, I'll find a piece of material and we'll make a block out of it. So, but that way I can keep my time down. It'll upload faster and I can do it every day. And, you know, it won't take, I don't know that I'll be on at the same time. It depends on how he's doing and, you know, that kind of thing. But I hope you have enjoyed this. Like I said, it's not difficult. It's cutting out, you know, you don't even pattern. You can take this material and take this into this right here. This is enough to make 2 petals right here. You can take this, and here's how fast you can make petals. Okay, I'm going to show you that you don't have to have a pattern. You can go right up there, make a point, come right down like this. And you just made a petal. So don't be worry about the petals and them being perfect. They don't have to be, because these flowers are not perfect. They have bug bites in them and they grow strange, and the sunlight hits them strange. So, you know, there it is. That's that's the truth about anything in nature. And thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow then for the second part of the flower. And then we'll put it on. I will cut some fabric for a backing, and we will put it on some backing, and I'll show you how they look put down. So, love you bunches. Mwah, mwah. You're welcome, Tammy. Hope you come back tomorrow so I can show you a little more. I know you haven't been here very long, but it is so hot up here. I'm really ready to go down. Thank you, Spanky. Love you too, honey. And I'll tell Tom. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm coughing is because I've gotten hot. Watch for my video on my iCads, and of course this one will be ready to watch as soon as it uploads and I end it. And I'm going to be making some other iCads along and get caught up on those. I've got to do Spanky's tags, and I have 2 months of mention and some inspiration to do for my art journaling. So I've got a lot of stuff laid out to do, but my heart has been singing to come and quilt, and I had to do it. I had to come and do it. I had to come and play with my fabric. So that's why I'm here today. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.